Hello and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show. I am so glad that you're here with me today. Ah, it's a wonderful day, a day of remembering. It's Memorial Day. And I'm so glad that you are here with me today, sacrificing something else that you might otherwise be doing. So thank you for being here. This, the Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. For Digital Pro Lab, we have Amanda and her fantastic, amazing team who are career people. They really enjoy what they're doing and they make you look like a freaking hero to your clients. You're going to love working with Digital Pro Lab. Reach out to digitalprolab.com if you haven't already. Digitalprolab.com, and you're going to see a big difference in working with a company you're going to enjoy working with. And speaking of companies you might enjoy working with, Landers Photography School. My name is Jim Landers, and I bring you the weekly Portrait Profit Show. But my passion is helping photographers. I've been a photographer for a few years, quite some time. And my passion comes from helping other photographers get to a point where they are actually earning a living. I hear photographers all the time say that photography is saturated, or that it's difficult, or that it's not the same as it used to be. And nothing is the same as it used to be. So these things would be true, but they don't make it where you can't make a living in photography. They can cause you to think that, though. I will help you make that more clear in your mind so that you can have a fantastic income doing what it is that you love. I appreciate you guys being here. Now, I want to encourage you to hit that like button and hit that love button anytime you hear something you like, or that you want to share with me. I love seeing people click that like button, and I really like even more that love button. I also want you to use the comments section. Go over to the comments. Let me know right now that you're here by entering in hashtag live. Now, if you're watching this as a replay, hashtag replay. But I'd like for you to interact with me during the show today and always, with any questions or comments that you have. So if I've said something that resonates with you, let me know in the comments. And if you just want to say, thanks, Jim, I appreciate you. Well, I'm sure you realize I would appreciate that as well. So over in the comments section, do me a favor right now and enter in hashtag live, telling me that you're watching live right now. All right, you guys. Uh, Today we're talking about, and I'm going to make that smaller. There we go. We're talking about how to stand out from the crowd. This is an interesting topic because it comes up often. And if you're looking at, let's say, a Facebook group for photographers, you'll hear comments that are along this line, that may not be exactly these words, but would still fall within that category. You know, you started your photography business fueled by a passion for creating beautiful images. But as time went on, you realized there was much more to running a photography business than just having your passion for making great photographs. Instead of being the go to person, you found yourself getting lost among a sea of other photographers, all of whom are struggling to get noticed and attract their ideal clients. You're just part of the crowd. You know, these people who say the market is saturated, they aren't wrong, but they are also not exactly right. To me, someone who says the market is saturated, and they're upset about it, or they're down about it, or they're telling other photographers don't bother because of it. To me, this is a red flag. This is an easy indicator to me as a photography business coach that the individual who's saying it has positioned themselves as part of the crowd. It's telling me that there are several things that we could work on to get them standing far from the crowd if they'd give me a chance. Having photography skills is great, but that alone is often nowhere near enough to truly stand out from the crowd. In addition to being a good photographer, to rise above and position yourself as the go to photographer for your ideal audience, You need exceptional business and marketing strategies. Think about it for a moment. From your ideal prospect's point of view, not yours, from their point of view. If you are doing pretty much the same thing as everyone else, then the only difference you've given them to make a choice about you and the others is price. Do you really want to force people to make their decision on price alone? I mean, don't you say the photography matters, the quality matters, that our dedication to our craft matters? Well, then why would you be doing something to put yourself in the middle of the crowd that forces our potential clients to make their decision on money alone? We like to blame that on the clients, that they don't want to spend enough, that they aren't the right clients, or that's just how people are today. There are people who are making their decision on price alone. But do you really want to build your business on them? I mean, you say you want to work with people who you enjoy working with, that you like, that like you. The moment you change your price to something that they don't like, they leave. So I want to suggest that you build your database of people that you want to work with, your ideal clients, not on low prices, but on things that are about what you do that stand out, that cause them to like you pretty and be the most expensive in town. But I am saying that if you're competing on price alone, and some of you believe that that means dollars only, nope, it's also putting yourself in the crowd. It's those two things because it's from the client's point of view, not just ours. So that's why, Lens Legends, in this episode of the Portrait Profit Show, we're talking about ways to distinguish your photography business and ensure you get noticed by your ideal clients, not just anyone, those people who you feel are going to be amazing dream clients. We're going to walk through how to uncover and clearly articulate your unique value proposition in a way that immediately resonates with the most ideal clients for you. You'll learn to develop an authentic, cohesive brand identity that effortlessly attracts your ideal client. From refining your brand voice to sharing the experiences of working with you. We'll showcase smart tactics for leveraging marketing channels, connecting with your local community, and delivering memorable client experiences that generate raving fans. This is about becoming a powerhouse at every aspect of running a wildly successful photography business that doesn't blend into the background like almost every other photographer does. You'll walk away today with actionable strategies for cultivating loyalty, generating referrals, and ensuring your brand messaging cuts through the noise. Whether you're just starting out or looking to reposition your established business, this roadmap today will empower you with the tools needed to confidently detach yourself from the competition and get people actively excited about working with you. The time to stop fading into the crowd ends today. Let's ensure your photography business not only survives, but thrives. I'm not interested in you struggling. I want to see you thriving because I want to ensure your photography business thrives in an otherwise saturated market because it is saturated if you don't apply these tools and you stand alone when you do. By implementing smart, sustainable business practices, you are going to become the shining star that stands out above the crowd. All right, first thing I want to talk about is, and I'm going to put it up on the screen temporarily, is defining your unique brand identity. For your photography business to truly stand out from the crowd, you need to get crystal clear on your unique brand identity. I mean, if you can't describe the difference between you and other photographers, then how can you possibly expect prospects to do it? When when you are there's a lot of photographers who have this philosophy that they need to be everything to everyone. So when you try to be everything to everyone, you end up putting yourself in the middle of the crowd. You wind up blending in and being perceived as just another option. This today is about defining and then conveying the distinct combination of values, visuals, personality, expertise, experience, those things that separate you from your competitors. And those are just some ideas. There's a lot more. I'm going to give you a couple of exercises to guide you through this self discovery process. First, identify your interests. Identify your interests. What excites you? What experiences or interactions energize you? What are your unique strengths, areas of expertise, the areas that you're comfortable with, that you enjoy the most? And what skills give you a competitive edge? There's just a list. Write them down. What excites you? What experiences or interactions energize you? I want you thinking about the things that you do, your unique strengths. Now, this could be on the photography side, but it could be personal as well. For instance, if you are in or formerly in the military, you know more about military families than someone who hasn't worked in the military. So, therefore, you have a competitive edge if you're targeting families who are military. Next, I want you to identify your ideal client. Take a step back and get ultra clear on who precisely your dream client is. I mean, someone who fits every single description of what you think is fantastic. Someone who, in your mind, you're thinking, man, I wish all of my clients were that way. Guess what? They can be. It's up to you to make it happen. It's the same philosophy in our brains, and if you've heard me and watched me before, I've said this before, so you would have heard it. But if you go buy a new car, all of a sudden you see more of them on the road. Are there more of them on the road? No, there's not. There's the same number, but your brain is drawn to them. So use your brain in the way it's going to work anyway. Define very clearly who your dream client is, and all of a sudden you will see more of them, and you will become noticeable to them as well. Define what their goals are, what their concerns are, their interests, their values. What are they thinking when it comes to hiring a photographer? What is important to them? And again, you're defining who your dream client is. So you might say on the surface, well, I don't know what each individual is going to want, but you know what your ideal client wants. They want you. Every single good thing about you, everything that you are confident in, that's what they want. You want when you cross paths with them in a out of context environment, like at the grocery store, that they see you and seem very excited and run up to you and give you a hug. That's what I would like. That even in non-context environments, they're still thrilled to see me. Yeah, I want that. I bet you do too. Now, we also need to evaluate our offering, what it is that we are selling, what we are making available to our clients. So, make a list of every product, every service, and any other variable or consideration that you are offering as a business currently. Then I want you to analyze how maps each maps back to serving the needs of your ideal client. Which of the things that you sell are resonating most with your dream clients? Which of those things that you do or offer Do you consider a distinguishing factor? Next, I want you to consider your client's needs. So, I want you to do a client needs analysis. I want you to think about your ideal client's demographics. Let me put that on the screen. Think about your ideal client's demographics, psychographics, goals, and concerns. What desires and needs do they consider when it comes to hiring a photographer? I want you to write them down and then answer them. What questions are they considering when it comes to hiring a photographer? Write them down and then answer them. How can you shape your brand and convey what you do is the perfect solution for your ideal clients? And when you answer that question, you are able to fill in any gaps that you had previously so that your client sees you and resonates with you. Now, we definitely want to do our competitive research. I want you to assess your competitors' positioning and identify their gaps that their marketing or their offerings are that you see in their offerings or you see in their marketing, and what maybe you could fill as a result. What are they not offering that your audience craves? Maybe where do their promises fall short? I want you to think about your vision and your value, reflecting on your core values, both personal and for your business. Because I want you to craft a vision for the impact, the legacy, and the experience that you want your brand to cultivate. The most the photographers the photography brands that resonate the most are built on, well, they're built from the inside out, meaning from you out. You're fostering a genuine through line from their internal identity and value system to their external brand expression across all visuals and messaging. Visuals and messaging just means the photographs you share or videos you share. That could be on social media. It could be on your website, and messaging is the text based stuff. So that could be images and text. That would be visuals and messaging, or it could be just visuals alone, or just messaging alone. So it could be a text, SMS, or the new RCS. This could be emails. This could be responding to pulse on or direct messages on social media. So once you have clarity on these key variables, you can start purposefully cultivating a brand identity that feels authentic and seamlessly communicates who you are, what you offer, and why you are the perfect solution for clients. And of course, we have to define what our ideal clients are, who they are, what they mean to us in order to even get to that point. So that's something that if you haven't done, that you are going to have to do in order to accomplish this. You have to be clear on who you are and what you want out of this. You know what? If your brand was a person, what would their personality traits, mannerisms, voice, style, what would all those things be? If your brand was a person, what personality traits would that brand have? I want you to envision this brand persona because it makes it easier to then shape all your visuals, your messaging, your client experience, all of this into a natural brand expression. The more vividly and uncompromisingly you can define and project your unique brand identity, the easier it will be for your true fans to recognize you, to connect with you on a deeper level, and become the loyal, raving fans that you want. Those who just can't help but share their love for you with others. Let's say you're a high school senior photographer. One of your unique strengths could be your ability to make both the graduates and their parents feel comfortable and bring out their personalities. Now, if you're a high school senior photographer, I want you to expand on that. I'm just giving you a seed. I want you to plant it and help it grow. Let's say you're a family portrait photographer. Your expertise in capturing candid, natural moments that truly showcase the family's dynamics and connections may be a starting point. And let's talk about boudoir photographers. Your skill in creating a safe, empowering environment for clients to feel confident and beautiful could be a differentiating factor when you add in your own personal touch to it. Next thing I want to talk about is your value proposition statement. Now, if you're getting something out of this already, will you do me a favor? Go over to the comments and tell me, is there something about this already that is resonating with you, that's working for you, that maybe has spurred some additional thoughts? Share with me in the comments. I want to know. So, value proposition statement is where I'm heading right now. Once you've defined your brand identity, I want you to craft a clear 1 or 2 sentence, unique value proposition statement. Now, I want it to encapsulate the distinct premium experience and your results or the results your business delivers to your ideal clients. Let me give you some examples of that so you know what I mean. If you're a pet photographer, you might say, as a luxury pet photography portrait artist, I provide an unmatched high-end experience that celebrates the irreplaceable bond families have with their beloved fur babies. And I do that through exquisite heirloom portraiture. Let's say you're a high school senior portrait artist. As a high school senior portrait artist, I provide an unforgettable experience that celebrates this milestone moment, capturing the authentic spirit and unique personality of each student through vibrant, modern portraiture. Again, I'm just giving you some thoughts, some ideas on what you could do. These are just the seeds. You plant them, you make your own. Let's say you're a family portrait photographer. You could say something along the lines of, I'm a family storyteller, specializing in creating timeless heirloom portraits that candidly showcase the love, laughter, and genuine connections within your family. With a finely tuned, unique value proposition as your guiding light, as your North Star, as the point that you're heading towards, you can shape every aspect of your brand experience, messaging, and marketing to deliver on that promise. The more you can niche down and speak directly to your ideal client's desires, the more you're going to stand out above the generic noise and crowds of competitors who photograph anything and everything. If you've got a list of 27 things that you specialize in, what are the odds that the people who you're crossing paths with are going to remember that? But if you've got one and you've described it very well, even if they don't need that service, they are much more likely to remember you and share you with others. Some of us photograph anything and everything and accept any business that comes along out of a fear of missing out on income. Well, I'm telling you, that is the cause of your struggle. You're not missing out on income. You are not getting a lot of it, and you could be working with dream clients. So, by doing anything and everything, you're missing out on the best that photography has as a business has to offer. We photographers, all, no matter what business model you choose, we care deeply about what we do and the impact that we have on our clients. But a great side effect of having clarity in what you do is that it becomes easier for your ideal client to recognize you as the perfect choice for them. This way, you'll transition from just another option to becoming the photographer of choice for your ideal audience. Third thing I want to mention, and If this is helping you out, tell me in the comments. I want to know. If this isn't helping, well, then I guess you're not watching. You've turned it off already, but you're still here. So go over to the comments. Tell me what it is that is making a difference for you. What's helping? Third thing I want to mention to you today is brand voice and storytelling marketing. In the first section, I mentioned brand identity, which refers to the overall embodiment of your brand, the core values, the personality traits, visuals, and positioning that makes your business distinctly recognizable and differentiated. In this section, I want to talk about brand voice, which is specifically about the consistent communication style, language, vocabulary, your sense of humor, and tone that you use across all of your messaging and prospect touchpoints to convey your brand personality. So while brand identity is the essence of your brand voice is how you convey that identity. Once you have clarity on your brand identity, the next step is to define your brand's distinctive communication voice so that you can leverage it to build emotional connections to your ideal client through storytelling. So, I want you to get specific on three things. If you're not taking notes, this is one area you might want to do that. Get specific on these three things. First, your brand's tone and vibe. How do you want to convey what you do? And how do you want to be perceived? Maybe you want to be perceived as witty, inspirational, down to earth, luxurious. There's a lot of ways you might want to be perceived, and you can't just define it with one word. I'm giving you those words so you have something to think about. There are two: your communication style and your word choice preferences. Now, if you want to go back to past episodes, you can find a whole lot more information on these things. But one of them was called vocabulary, photographer vocabulary. So this is, you get to create your own dictionary. And I say get to, this is a fun thing to do. It's a project. It takes a little bit of time. You don't want to do it all in one sitting, but you can just have a window open on your screen, and anytime you're using words that are for your photography business, add them to your dictionary. It's just something that sits there, but you want to create a dictionary for your business. Number three of three, the persona you aim to project, whether that's approachable, friendly, authoritative, expert, trusted, whatever. Think about the brands that you know that are outside of your business, outside of a photography business, that have somehow gotten your attention. What is it about those brands that makes their voice so distinct and captivating to you? There's an action step. If your brand, or a homework assignment, if your brand was a person at a dinner party, how would they communicate with the other guests? What kind of stories would they tell? What word choices and senses of humor would they use? I want you to envision this character to an exaggerated degree. Be silly with it. But then I want you to chisel away until you have your brand voice defined. Hopefully, that's a fun assignment for you. Now, once you've done these things with your brand voice defined, identified, clear, you now have a powerful tool for crafting stories that emotionally connect with your audience. So I want you to infuse storytelling. Storytelling is remarkably effective for projecting your brand personality while fostering feelings of relatability. There's a lot of places where you can use storytelling in your marketing. I mean, obviously, talking one on one is one of those places, but you can use it on your about page, your about me page, rather than just a list of all the things you have the ability to do or things that you've done. Share your origin story, your brand's origin story, your mission, your values, but do it through a narrative that gives your prospective clients a window into who you are. You can also share this via social media. Maybe you've got a blog or a vlog. In addition to what you might already be doing, share stories and lessons that you've learned along the way. Whether it's for your Instagram feed or your Facebook stories, bring your brand voice to life by sharing personal stories. Maybe some behind the scenes peeks or thought provoking insights that you have experienced or thought of while doing the things that you love to do. You can even integrate elements of storytelling into your brand name, into your tagline, and your marketing campaigns. The more you infuse storytelling through your distinct brand voice, the more you'll forge personal connections with your audience and become memorable, something that they want to support. The strongest brands aren't just telling stories. Their brand voice becomes ingrained in everything they communicate, transforming even the smallest marketing element into an engaging narrative experience. So I want you to get strategic about defining your brand voice and then use it as a tool to make your business memorable. You could share behind the scenes stories or highlights from recent client sessions on your Facebook or Instagram feed. In your email marketing, you can include a short narrative about how a particular portrait experience or portrait session came together or the meaning behind a specific image that you created. During in-person consultations or sales sessions, share stories about how you've helped previous clients achieve their desired outcome, or maybe how you've overcome some challenges that they may have faced. This kind of stuff is just fun. Next. By the way, is this helping you guys? Will you tell me over in the comments? This is helping. You could say just as simple as that. Or I like this. Or thanks, Jim. Whatever you want. Do me a favor. Go over to the comments section. Let me know what you're thinking. And next is I want, and I'll put this up on the screen. There we go. Building relationships and networking. Now, I know not everybody likes networking, and maybe that will cause you to not ever do it, but there is value in it. And I have found that introverts do real well once they become comfortable. So maybe after you've done all the things I've talked about so far, maybe that increases your confidence so that you can get out and do that kind of thing. But I want you to purposefully build relationships. And I want you to purposefully network because it's one of the things that helps us stand out. Nurturing connections within the industry with potential clients is invaluable. So that's other photographers and of course your clients and potential clients. Getting to know your fellow photographers helps you gain experience and make valuable contacts. Befriending vendors like makeup artists or event planners, well, that creates opportunity for cross referrals, which brings me to one of the smartest strategies of making yourself stand out: alliance marketing. This is where you align yourself with complementary businesses that are serving the same target market. For wedding photographers, think bridal shops, venues, event planners, florists, caterers, DJ services. Forming these alliances allows for cross promotion. This exposes each business to a wider audience. So that means it's a win win situation. And you obviously want to seek win win situations. For instance, you can offer joint packages. You could collaborate on styled shoots. You could host events together. This not only enhances your visibility, but also builds a trusted network that your clients can rely on. You're seen as an expert. Let's talk about client relationships. Treating clients like friends is something that cultivates their loyalty. Now, most of our clients become that anyway. But we need to plan it to make sure that that is the goal, that everything we do heads that direction. They'll be more likely to rebook you or rave about you in reviews and become your biggest fans and promoters. I want you to also get involved locally. Join photography groups, attend meetups, workshops. The key is genuine interest in people. So ask questions, swap stories, share advice, listen to their advice. You'll organically develop a supportive crew that appreciates your work. This these things elevate you from the crowd. I also suggest maybe that you sponsor or maybe even host community events. For a senior photographer, maybe you participate in a high school a senior showcase or a job fair. If you're a family portrait photographer, maybe you could participate in or create family-friendly activities. Let's say your boudoir or maybe even children. You could host experiential events like a mom's night out, an event where attendees can enjoy many sessions or with makeovers and other pampering experiences while all the while learning about what it is that you do and becoming closer to you as a friend. I want you to collaborate with local businesses or maybe even influencers. Maybe you could do cross promotions, such as offering many sessions at a trendy boutique or partnering with a local celebrity for a philanthropic cause. There's a lot of things you can do. I'm being very surface level with this because if I went into too much detail, I'd be spending way more time than I have. But these activities increase your visibility and build relationships with your prospects. If this is resonating with you today, what we've shared, what I've shared with you so far, will you do me a favor and go over to the comment section and let me know? Tell me it's resonating with me, or I get it, or maybe something specific that's just touching you in a way that you know that you can use that to help out you and your business. I appreciate you guys. By the way, I'm seeing Uh, when you do me if you'll do me a favor, if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live in the comment section. That way I know you're here. I can see a ton of you have done that already. And uh, there's a lot. That's really cool. I'll do a couple of shout outs. Sorry, I'm not going to mention everybody's name just because there's too many, but I see Stacia and Janice and Lupe. I'm glad you guys are here. Let's see. I've got Ashley and Ruben. Stacia's here. Oh, I may have said her name already. Robin's here. I just appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. And there's quite a few more, and some won't say names. Some say Facebook user, YouTube. So there's different ones here. So uh, what Ruben just says. Oh, look at that, Los Cabos, Garza Blanca, Los Cabos. Cool, Ruben. Love it. Is anybody else watching from some kind of a interesting or unusual place? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious. Certainly be interested to know. Oh, man. All right, let's move on to the next section, continuous improvement and innovation. A growth mindset always always looks for ways to level up your skills and your business. Staying up to date with the latest industry trends, all these different things, all of it is important. What worked for marketing a few years ago, some of those things are not going to be as effective now. Some of them are going to be more effective now. The bottom line is things change, and we've got to keep up to date on it. Maybe it's just a slight change, and maybe a slight tweak that could make things really work well for you. That's why continuing education isn't an option; it's a must. Investing in in things like workshops, online courses, attending conferences, watching live streams, these different things allows you to keep delivering an amazing experience for your clients. And isn't that what you're committed to giving them? You've probably promised in some way or another your absolute best. I'm going to give my clients my best. Well, if you fail to keep you you if you don't include continuing education in what you do, then you have failed to keep your word about giving them your absolute best. because your absolute best is not what it was 5 years ago. It is 5 years of improvement better because of your continuing education and your implementation of what it is that you learned. Getting creative with innovative marketing strategies can make a huge difference. Your comfort zone is just a box that limits you. Get out of it and do not make excuses. But besides, haven't you heard that you're supposed to think outside of the box? You have to define what your box is first, or you'll have nothing to think outside of. But yeah, we've got to think outside of our box. And again, a box is just a limitation. We have to get outside of it. So look for inspiration everywhere. Check out what photographers in other markets are doing successfully, not so that you can just copy them, but just to prove to yourself that if someone is doing it out there, they're making things happen, that it is possible, and that your wonderful creative mind can figure it out. Maybe there's a fresh way to use social media or craft unique in person events. The possibilities, as you know, are endless, but only when you start thinking outside of your own personal box of limitations. The portrait photographers who truly stand out never stop learning, they never stop evolving. They embrace the things outside of their comfort zone with enthusiasm. Now, that doesn't mean they aren't intimidated or scared. They are, but they know how much good they can do for their business and ultimately for their clients who they love and believe in and who are trusting in you. I want you to commit to continuous improvement and innovation as a career long process. Stay curious, keep growing, and you are going to be unstoppable. I want to share with you some closing thoughts. I hope you feel like I've just dropped some serious knowledge bombs on how to stop blending into the background so that you can get the attention you deserve. By the way, I've got a lot more that I could share. What I have is a limitation on time to be able to share all those things with you. But as you know, at least I hope, and if you don't, helping photographers is what I do full time. I am here for you to reach out and get the extra stuff that you need to be able to propel your business into what it is that you want. All you have to do is reach out. I'll give you my email address, jim@landersphotoschool.com. Jim@landersphotoschool.com. And by the way, if you send me an email and I have not responded to it within a day, it means I never received it. It means that it's somewhere in the ether, or maybe you misspelled it. Who knows? But I didn't get it. Try again. I do check my spam folder regularly, and I definitely encourage you to do so as well. Now, let's go over some key takeaways from today. First up, we defined what makes you totally unique. What makes your brand an irreplaceable brand? We're talking pinpointing your superpowers, vibing with your dream clients, and crafting an infectious brand personality that resonates with your description of an ideal client. Then we leveled up with a magnetic value proposition and brand storytelling that emotionally connects you to your audience. Those kinds of irresistible stories that make strangers into raving fans. But we didn't stop there. We talked about power moves like strategic relationships, network building, cross promoting with businesses that target the same market that you target but aren't competitors. And let's not forget the innovation and continuing education game, always staying ahead by seeking fresh strategies and sharpening your skills. This is how you continually stand out from the crowd. You know what time it is? It's time to take action. This isn't just theoretical fluff that we are just talking about. It's your blueprint to go from fading away to capturing the spotlight as the photographer who rules your market. So, which tactic that we talked about today are you going to do first? You're going to overhaul your brand story? You're going to lock down some local partnerships, build some alliances? Are you going to create some marketing that's fresh enough to make the cool kids jealous? Whatever your first move is, just promise me you'll take it today, because this industry doesn't need more wallflowers blending into the background. We don't need the crowd getting any larger. It needs the dominating photographers who are shining so bright that your ideal clients can't help but fill your calendar and force you to create a wait list. You rock. You deserve to be celebrated. Now get out there and make it happen. The crowd does not know what's coming, but they're about to find out. Oh, man. I hope you've had fun with this. As you know, the Portrait Profit Show is every Monday at noon. I want to tell you about the next two lessons that we have. The first is on on June 3rd at noon. I'll put this up on the screen. This is about photography education on a tight budget. Because I was talking about continuing education, I know the reason why some of you don't do it, and it's because, well, it could be expensive. It is. Uh, but there's also a time variable. And we have talked about that in the past. I'll be talking again about it in the future, but I wanted to at least go after one of these things. So put on your calendar, June 3rd at noon, photography education on a tight budget. Is your passion for learning and growing in photography larger than your budget? Well, that's pretty normal, but it means that you absolutely can't miss the next episode of the Portrait Profit Show. I'll be sharing some awesome ideas, tips, resources, and even some secrets. Hopefully, I don't regret it, for photography education on the business side that don't break the bank. Some of them are free, some of them are low cost, but I'm going to share with you several ways to stay on top. So join me a week from today to learn how to make the most of your budget while still getting top-notch photography education and growing. So mark your calendar, set a reminder, and be ready for a fun, informative session that will help you grow as a photographer without spending a fortune. So don't miss out. And then a week after that is, let's see, June 10th at 6:30. Now, on the second Monday of each month, we move the time from noon to 6:30, and that's because we're going to have a panel discussion. On the second Monday of every month, we have a panel discussion where we bring in three photographers and we ask them the exact same questions so that you can hear three different perspectives. This time, we're going to be talking about how I keep up with the changes. Now, one way is through education that we are talking about, but there's a lot of ways that people do that. And so I'm going to ask them questions about how they keep up with the changes that are going on in the photography world. There's some things that are quickly changing. There are some things that really don't change much at all. But we're going to be talking about in the industry. So put that on your calendar, June 10th at 6:30 in the evening. I hope that this episode of the Portrait Profit Show has been beneficial to your growth as a professional photographer and that this lesson has sparked some ideas. I encourage you to like and share the Portrait Profit Show. And of course, tune in every week for our show. Tune in turn into the next live stream a week from today at noon. I want you to be successful in your photography business. I want you to stop the struggle. I want you to get where you want to be. And I want to encourage you to reach out to me because I can help you make it happen. You don't have to go it alone. I want to thank you for your time today. Know that I appreciate you and what you do. Anytime you are spending doing this, I'm well aware you could have been doing something else. So thank you for your time and attention here today. Thank you for the efforts that you're making each and every day to be such an amazing portrait photographer. Together, Lens Legends, we help each other achieve our goals and make a difference in the world through our passion for portrait photography. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, my name is Jim Landers, and I'm bringing you the weekly Portrait Profit Show. So until next time, Lens Legends, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep making your mark in the world of portrait photography. I look forward to watching you grow. You guys are awesome. Bye for now.